This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 31st day of July in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. 6 months after being given approval for its massive $1.1 trillion budget, the government of Guyana has returned to the National Assembly, seeking an additional $40 billion. Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh presented two financial papers to the National Assembly this morning to seek the additional funds. In a statement, the Ministry of Finance explained that the additional money is being sought to support the government's ramping up of key sectors of the economy amid its continued expansion and the country's current status of being the fastest growing economy in the world. Financial paper number 1 is seeking approval for supplementary estimates current in relation to advances made from the contingency fund, totaling $8.6 billion between the 1st of April and the 30th of July. While financial paper number 2 caters for supplementary estimates, current and capital, totaling $32.2 billion for the period ending the 31st of December 2024. In the supplementary financial papers, the government is seeking $16 billion for the Guyana Power and Light Company, GPL. The Finance Ministry said that money will cover the government's decision to absorb the impact of rising fuel prices on the cost of services provided by electricity companies. Additionally, the government is seeking a supplementary approval of $1.1 billion for additional resources to support electricity companies in Lethem, Linden, Mabaruma, and Matthews Ridge. Outside of the electricity sector, the government is also seeking approval for a supplementary sum in the agriculture sector, which includes another $9.5 billion for the Guyana Sugar Corporation, Gaisuco. The government said its continued investments in Gaisuco forms part of the efforts to revitalize the sugar industry, in line with its commitment to the country. Gaisuco was allocated $6 billion in this year's budget 6 months ago. The government is also seeking a sum of $2.3 billion to settle outstanding payments owed to numerous suppliers of goods and services to a number of government agencies. Financial paper number 2 also caters for a sum of $1.6 billion under the Ministry of Public Works for Sea and River Defense Works, $297.4 million to support the operations of the Transport and Harbors Department, $159.2 million for the completion of the Bartica Stelling, and $680.5 million to facilitate critical upgrades to ferry vessels. $904 million is being sought for the construction and rehabilitation of hinterland roads, and $600 million is being sought by the government for the completion of infrastructure for the critical supply of water to far-flung communities in the country. The supplementary budget is expected to be debated at the next sitting of the National Assembly. We've got more news coming your way in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Let's tell you now that the electoral fraud trial came to an early end today as the prosecution raised repeated concerns over the omission of certain pieces of evidence that were deemed to be inadmissible by City Magistrate Lerone Daly, who is hearing the case. As the trial entered its third day, State Prosecutor Darshan Ramdani told the court that it was important to address a number of issues, including the question of admissibility, before the head of the diaspora unit at the Foreign Affairs Ministry, Rosalind Razul, returned to the stand. Razul had served as an election observer for the American Chamber of Commerce in Guyana during the last elections, and she was expected to continue her testimony today at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Ramdani, in his lengthy exchange with the magistrate, argued that a decision by the court on Tuesday to bar the Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag from implicating an agent of the APNU-AFC on the grounds that the party agent is not named in the proceedings could have serious repercussions moving forward. Ramdani told the court that other witnesses, such as Razul, could face a similar challenge when providing evidence. However, in maintaining her ruling on the issue, Magistrate Daly said the circumstances would determine whether a similar approach is taken. The prosecutor cited a number of cases, maintaining that a witness should be allowed to testify unimpeded.
Well, we made some submissions about admissibility of evidence. You would have heard us speak about that. Questions about hearsay evidence, how it can be used, a man who says something and he's charged, whether that evidence can be used against another defendant, whether that defendant is in his presence or not.
Ramdani also raised the issue of exclusion of evidence provided by two witnesses, Parag and Razul, who have testified so far. He noted that from time to time the magistrate indicated that she had not taken note of certain evidence, and he was under the impression that she was relying on the court recordings. But the magistrate clarified that while the trial is being recorded, evidence deemed to be inadmissible would not be included in her official notes. In response, Ramdani expressed concern that the prosecution may not have been given a chance to respond before any omission is made. He has since asked to review the recording to identify instances when evidence was omitted.
There were some other issues discussed in relation to notes of evidence and what is being excluded. Beyond that, I don't wish to comment any further today.
Attorney at law Darren Wade, who forms part of the battery of lawyers representing the 9 defendants in the case, asked the court for an opportunity to respond. After a brief adjournment, Magistrate Daly indicated that the trial will be adjourned until next Monday, the 5th of August. The defendants in the matter are former Chief Election Officer Kit Lowenfield, former Deputy Chief Election Officer Roxanne Myers, and former Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, along with Member of Parliament Valda Lawrence, PNC Reform Member Carol Smith-Joseph, and the election officers Shafern February, Enrique Leven, Denise Bob Cummings, and Michelle Miller. They are facing 19 conspiracy charges relating to an attempt to declare fraudulent results during the course of the 2020 elections. They have denied the allegations against them. 3 days into the trial of 9 persons for their alleged involvement in conspiring to defraud the electorate during the 2020 elections, Vice President Bara Jagdeo wants the presence of the international community in the local court to observe the trial. At his press conference this afternoon, Mr. Jagdeo said that given the diplomatic community's high interest in the controversial 2020 elections, he believes it is only fair that they be invited to observe the trial.
And it's crucial that we pursue this pathway, if for only one reason: to ensure that people don't act, or public officers do not act with impunity in the future, where they're vested with either a responsibility by law or the Constitution, and they, in this case, in a partial manner, discharge that responsibility, and in a corrupt manner. And therefore, it's crucial that we have the international community looking at it.
The electoral fraud trial commenced on Monday in the Georgia Magistrates Court before Magistrate Lerone Daly. 9 persons, including former Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield, former Deputy Chief Election Officer Roxanne Myers, and former Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, are accused of conspiring with others in an attempt to declare fraudulent results during the course of the elections in favor of the then ruling party, the APNU-AFC. With the trial just 3 days old, it appears as though the Vice President is not pleased with the proceedings. Today, he expressed concern that repeated objections by the defense are being entertained by the court. Mr. Jagdeo said the objections have the potential to further delay the case. It is a similar position which has been taken by the special state prosecutor in the matter.
The defense lawyers for the people who've been charged have tried all sorts of delaying tactics, and they've succeeded thus far to have the matter not heard. The last attempt was dismissed by the Chief Justice, and the trial has started. And you will see a similar pattern now, and the frustration expressed by the prosecution that in fact, on numerous occasions, uncalled for, that the defense lawyers are again trying to stall the trial by making frivolous objections, and often these objections are entertained.
Already, the Vice President is predicting that the case will find its way before the Caribbean Court of Justice, which is Guyana's final court of appeal. Magistrate Daly, in presiding over the matter, has deemed certain pieces of evidence provided by witnesses to be inadmissible, an issue that the prosecution continues to challenge. Weighing in on that issue, Mr. Jagdeo said, if omissions will be made at the level of the magistrate's court, it is important for the public to have a full picture of the evidence presented.
It is crucial that the records be in the public domain if they're not going to be kept in the court, so that what is presented and the testimonies of the witnesses will be available in the media and elsewhere, so that when ultimately it gets to the CCJ, that the full picture of the testimony, discounting all of the objections and the suppression of the evidence, that would be available to the judges, and that there'd be no doubt as to what was presented, the fullness of the case, and it's a robust case.
The Vice President has urged citizens to follow the case closely.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
The government and the opposition became one in the National Assembly today as they passed Matrimonial Causes Amendment Bill 2024, which pushes equal rights for both men and women during divorce proceedings. The bill was piloted by Attorney General Anil Nandlal, who explained that the updated legislation is modern since it removes existing discriminatory provisions and guarantees equal rights, which is a fundamental human right. The Attorney General said in an environment where equal treatment is now a guaranteed fundamental right, the law must make provisions for equal treatment. He stated that the legislation was framed in such a way where women were treated differently from men and men treated differently from women.
Because there are a series of provisions in the Principal Act that confers protection upon a wife, but does not reciprocally confer such protection on the husband. So in those provisions, we have brought equality and equilibrium.
Clause 4 of the amendments will now offer protection for the husband's property during a divorce proceeding. Under the Principal Act, only the wife's property was protected. Clause 5 of the amendments will also now see both husband and wife being granted orders on the judicial separation, while Clause 6 of the amendments provides for payment of alimony to both the husband and wife. The Principal Act had only allowed for alimony to be paid to the wife or her trustee. Opposition Member of Parliament Gita Chandan Edmond described the legislation as progressive, while her opposition colleague Valda Lawrence said the amendments reaffirm Guyana's commitment to the concept of all are equal before the law and are entitled to equal benefits.
Mr. Speaker, these amendments are long overdue. Guyana, as a whole, for many years, since the 1980s, we have been championing equal rights and gender equality. And we are here today, and I'm proud to be in this house as we make this bold step.
The bill also amended the subsection to replace husband with a party, referring to both genders. It states that the court, if it thinks fit, may make an order requiring a party to the marriage to maintain the other party to the extent that the first mentioned party is able to do so. The bill also addresses divorce, making it easier to complete the process. The grounds for divorce will be amended to include irreconcilable differences, which have caused the irremediable breakdown of the marriage, provided that the parties have been separated and lived apart for a continuous period of 6 months prior to the filing of the divorce. Well, more than 2 years since he was charged with a cybercrime amidst accusations of being the foul-mouthed Mudwater cartoon character on social media, local video producer and award-winning photographer Kieran Bruce is still to have his name cleared. Bruce was back at the Diamond Magistrates Court this morning with the hope of hearing a decision handed down in the matter. However, he was informed by the presiding magistrate, Sunil Scarce, that he would have to return to court at a later date, as a written ruling in the matter had not yet been completed. The businessman said it is frustrating because over the past 2 years, he has had to put much of his business on pause, and the ongoing court case has not only affected his business, but has also affected his personal life and the lives of his family. Bruce was charged back in April of 2022 for allegedly using a computer system to subject another person to public ridicule, contempt, hatred, or embarrassment. The charge was filed following investigations into a complaint by local reporter Leroy Smith about an online cartoon character show that goes under the name Mudwater. Bruce has denied being that character and has explained that the entire prosecution's case was based on a statement from the Guyanese critic, Michael Rodriguez, who he said inserted himself in the matter.
The only reason I was even charged is because the Guyanese critic lied on me and he said that I told him that I was Mudwater. Mr. Smith, who was the virtual complainant in the matter, he didn't mention me in his complaint, and it was, I believe, based on Guyanese critic's testimony, false testimony rather, that caused the charge to come on me in the first place. I can't make any plans past these court dates.
The businessman said he's not only frustrated with the many delays he has been facing, but now it is also worrying and concerning.
I feel like something is afoot. The dates are continuing to protract over and over. I come here, I was supposed to get a ruling since the 3rd of this month, and I appeared 2 times after that. This is the second time after that that I'm appearing, and then there's a postponement again.
He said while he could appreciate the magistrate wanting to complete a written ruling, the process has taken way too long, and that is surprising since it was a case with one civilian witness. Bruce is hoping that when he appears in court again, the matter will be brought to an end. The Mudwater character on social media that Bruce has been accused of being behind has been releasing satirical videos for a number of years, targeting local politicians and other public officials and persons in public life. As the People's Progressive Party, Civic is preparing to celebrate 4 years in office on Friday, the party's General Secretary, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, today boasted that unprecedented development has taken place in every sector and every region since his party took the seat of government in 2020. Mr. Jagdeo told reporters that the country is in a different place from 4 years ago, and he is pleased with all that has been happening across Guyana.
I'm very pleased about these 4 years, and a lot that we have worked on in the past 4 years putting together will yield the benefits in the future. So they're not immediate, the benefits don't come immediately. Now the construction is going on, so we had more jobs for people, but when these 7 hotels are running, 3,000 Guyanese will be working there. That's 3,000 more jobs for our people, and good paying jobs.
Sidestepping the issue of the increase in the cost of living and ongoing complaints about corruption in the government, Mr. Jagdeo said when one looks at the infrastructural development taking place and growth in the education and health sectors, there could be no doubt that progress is taking place across Guyana.
Healthcare, unprecedented levels. We've laid out a plan, put together the 12 new hospitals, had the feasibility studies done, the design work has practically been completed for all of them, and many of them are under construction. This is in the short period that we've been in office, the last 2 years basically, because as I said before, the first 2 years you couldn't do much work because of COVID. You had to do a lot of conceptualization work.
He also said the impact of the government's actions will be felt for years to come.
Because now when you look at where Guyana is, and it's roaring, it's growing at a rapid pace, you see a level of dynamism that's unmatched anywhere in the world. In our economy, you couldn't believe that 2 years, just 2 short years back, we were in a situation where we didn't know what would happen around the world or in this country.
The Vice President said the Pacific Administration has put several systems in place to ensure more transparency in government.
Hey Guyana, are you ready for an African explosion of culture as the African Culture and Development Association ACDA hosts Emancipation Festival 2024, featuring premier cultural acts from top Guyanese groups, South America, the Caribbean, and around the world. Come, let's celebrate the culture of our forefathers with African food, history, fashion, innovation at Guyana's biggest cultural festival. August 1st in the National Park. Gates open at 10 a.m. See you there. Around day, we all hold together.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Be another car, or is it a house?
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole Lincoln Market.
Get ready for the 3rd edition of Blankets and Baskets on August 4, 2024.
The Maltino's ground comes alive with Guyana's best entertainers and a vibe that can't be matched.
Come for a chance to win numerous prizes,
including the grand prize of a... Tickets are $6,000 with other special luxury packages
from $40,000 to $120,000.
It's the Blankets and Baskets Extravaganza.
For more information, check out Blankets and Baskets on Facebook.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Venezuela's opposition, which says that it and not President Nicolas Maduro won Sunday's presidential election, is scrambling for ways to find a path to power despite significant obstacles, according to Reuters. Opposition leaders say they have access to around 90% of vote tallies, which by law are supposed to be given to witnesses at vote counts. And the printouts of those tallies show their candidate Edmundo Gonzalez won more than twice as many votes as Maduro. But the OPEC nation's incumbent president has declared victory and denounced the resulting protests around the country as an attempted coup. The Electoral Council, which the opposition says is allied to Maduro, has backed his claim but not provided a full vote breakdown. Two opposition sources who asked to remain anonymous said that for now its focus is on pressuring the government to release all the tallies. They did not say how they would do that. Other opposition pathways to power could include a negotiated solution or the hope that the protests will increase foreign pressure on the government. All such efforts face long odds, analysts say. Let's tell you now that entertainer Vybz Kartel and his co-accused were set free Wednesday after the Court of Appeal ruled against retrying them for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The judgment was handed down earlier today. The decision was made by a 3-judge panel, including Justices Marvel McDonald Bishop, Paulette Williams, and David Fraser. Before the ruling, an abbreviated summary was provided for the sole purpose of assisting members of the public with understanding the matter. Vybz Kartel, real name Adidja Palmer, Sean Sturm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John were convicted of the September 2011 murder of Williams. Lawyers representing the 4 men made an appeal to the local Court of Appeal in 2020, but their convictions were upheld. The accused's appeal was then taken to the United Kingdom-based Privy Council, and on March 14, 2024, their murder convictions were overturned on the grounds of juror misconduct. The Privy Council also remitted the case back to the Jamaica Court of Appeal to decide whether there should be a retrial. And finally tonight, international news. Iran vows to avenge the killing of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh, who died in an overnight airstrike in Tehran, according to the BBC. Hamas and Iran blame Israel for the airstrike. Israel hasn't commented but has previously vowed to eliminate the group's leaders. Haniyeh, 62, is the most senior leader to be killed since October 7 attacks. The killing, hours after an Israeli strike on the Lebanese capital, heightens fears of wider conflict in the Middle East. Hezbollah confirms its commander was killed in that strike, which Israel described as being targeted. In a televised statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country is prepared for any scenario and stands determined against any threat. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.